Today I brought a wonderful recipe for your breakfast, your afternoon snack, or even as a dessert. You're going to love it. It's perfect if you want to reduce inflammation, if you're looking to lose weight, and it's extremely healthy, very rich in fiber, keeps you feeling full, and it's delicious. You're going to love it. Stay until the end because you won't want to miss it. No wheat flour, no gluten, no sugar. It turns out amazing. If you love recipes that are easy, quick, and healthy, you're going to love the channel. So go ahead and subscribe. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you get all the updates because I post new videos every day and you won't want to miss them. You'll see that there are just a few ingredients, but the way it's put together is different, making for a really beautiful dessert. And as I mentioned, it's super healthy, perfect even for breakfast or an afternoon snack. Remember, the ingredients, along with their quantities and nutritional information, are listed below in the description. Let's start mixing here. The first thing I'm going to do is add rolled oats to my bowl. If you want to use oat flour or ground oats, that's fine too. Remember, I have a video here on the channel where I talk more about oat bran, rolled oats, and oat flour. So, oats end up being a really great carbohydrate option for us to add to our daily routine because they're a lower glycemic index carb since they contain protein and fiber. These fibers are excellent for the gut and for satiety. Beta-glucan helps lower cholesterol, so oats are just an all-around great food. To these oats, I'm going to add our chia seeds, which will bring in more healthy fats. The fats in chia are precursors to omega-3, they're anti-inflammatory, and they also contain a lot of fiber and mucilage, which helps form a gel in our stomach and provides both early and prolonged satiety. So, it's excellent if you tend to feel very hungry between small meals. This recipe will be wonderful for you. Now I'm going to add a bit of milk. I'm using skim cow's milk and a bit of plain unsweetened yogurt. Remember, I have a video here on the channel teaching how to make homemade yogurt. I'll leave the link down below in the description for you. You have a few options here for sweetening. I'm adding a bit of sweetener, which is a baking sweetener, but if you want to use a few drops of stevia or a bit of honey, let me know what you usually use to sweeten. This doesn't go on the stove, so it doesn't need to be a sweetener that's stable at high temperatures. So I'm going to add a bit of this baking sweetener here, and this really depends on your taste, depending on how sweet you want it to be. Now, look, I'm going to grab my jars here and start assembling everything. So I'm going to divide this mixture into 2 portions. If you want to make just 1 jar, that's fine. You can just have the recipe. So I'm going to split it here and then grab the other ingredients to make the second layer of our recipe. Hold on. So look, I finished putting it into both jars, pressed it down a bit so we can make the layers, and cleaned up the sides here. Now I'm going to make our second cream, which in this bowl, I'm going to mix in more natural yogurt. It's the same yogurt I used before, so it's the same ingredient, but I'm going to mix it in a different way this time. To the yogurt here, I'm going to add a bit of white cheese. Remember, I have a recipe for white cheese here on the channel, made with just 2 ingredients. I'll leave it down below in the description for you. You can use the white cheese of your choice. It can be ricotta, it can be cottage cheese. Let me know which cheese you like to use. I'm going to add a bit more sweetener here, and you can use the same one you used before to sweeten it. And a bit of lime or lemon juice to give it a special flavor. Let's give it a good mix, but this time I'm going to use a whisk so it gets more homogeneous. Now, I'll take our cream and pour it on top here to make another layer, and then I'll have one last layer to finish it off. So, I finished this layer here. Now I'll make the last one. If you want, you can mix these ingredients into this layer as well and just make 2 layers. Let me know which way you prefer. I'm going to add a bit more of our natural yogurt here, a bit more lime juice, and the sweetener, which is also to taste. And in this layer, I'm going to add a bit of turmeric. Remember that turmeric benefits from fats for absorption, and since we have chia here, that's going to be interesting. And a bit of lime zest to give our recipe an even more pronounced lime flavor. So let's give it a mix. I like to make these 3 layers because we also eat with our eyes. So having these differences in texture and even in color makes it look really nice. Look, I added a bit more turmeric here until it got more yellow because I wanted that color contrast. This is really up to your taste. If you don't like a strong turmeric flavor, you don't have to add as much. Remember that turmeric is a powerful anti-inflammatory, excellent for our health, and brings many benefits. I also have a video here on the channel talking about the benefits of turmeric. But of course, if you want to substitute it, for example, with ground cinnamon, that's also tasty and has its own beneficial properties. Tell me which spice you're going to add to this delicious recipe. Let's layer everything here so you can see how beautiful it's going to look. So now look, I'm going to add a bit of our yogurt cream with lime and turmeric on top, and then I'll put all of this in the fridge to set. I'll be back soon with them ready, especially because the chia and oats need to absorb the liquid. So I'm going to finish putting this in the fridge to chill, and I'll be back soon so we can try it. Hold on. Look, it's been about 2 hours, and I'm going to show you how our treat turned out. I'll try to scoop all the way to the bottom to get all the layers. Remember, if you leave it longer, it'll get even creamier. But look, this is already enough. In fact, if you want to make this the day before to have for breakfast, or if you want to make it in the morning and take it to eat as a snack at work, just put it in a container with a lid. It works perfectly too. So tell me, which spice are you going to put on top of our final layer? I'd love to see your comment. Remember to like the video because that also helps me out, and share it with anyone who would enjoy it or who needs it. Let's work together to spread this chain of kindness. That's what I want here on the channel. Let's give it a try. It tastes like lime pie. It's really creamy. You get the flavor of the cheese. It's like a lime cheesecake. Make it. You're going to love it. See you next time. Bye.